Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How's it going? Hey, Diginanigans. Caught the stream early today. Awesome. Yeah. We're back. Had a bit of a weekend, an actual vacation.
Maximum what?
Hey, no Jewel. How's it going? Yeah, I actually got out of town over the weekend. It was good. Actually took a break. Now I'm back here and I'm like, what are we doing? What's game dev? What is this? But I hope everyone had a good weekend and a great week so far. I don't remember what we were working on. I think probably had something to do with our little selection box stuff. So we're just gonna dive into that. Yeah, I think I had some. I think I'm still seeing some outliers, some weird offsets, some weird positional issues. So we're probably just gonna keep digging into that. I did enjoy myself thanks to shenanigans. I went down with some friends to a little cottage in a little beach town. Played a lot of board games and drank a lot of coffee. And it was pretty good. But now we're back. And what's the state of things? I was considering not, like yesterday, instead of streaming, I took like a 3-hour nap. I was just like, could not. But today I was tempted to do something similar, but I was like, no, we gotta get back to it. All right, so what is going on now? We're only drawing this part and none of the sides. Interesting. This feels like maybe a step backwards from what we had before. Curious about why this is the state we're currently in here. Oh, this is kind of weird what's happening up here. All right. Oh, we split it up into 6 layers, right? So we've split the floor from the walls. And we have a new tile set to manage that. Okay. Okay, I remember what we were doing. All right, so what we need to do here. So do we have all 6 layers? Auto tile editor grid, tile map layer 0 is the deck layer X, the deck layer Y, the deck layer Z. Ah, yeah, we didn't finish this. Okay, cool. Cool. Easy. All right. I want something else for my radio today. I think. I don't know what I want. I'm like feeling sleepy. I want something a little more upbeat. There we go. Hope everyone's doing well this fine Wednesday. All right, so we need to rewrite this a little bit, I think. So deck layer X, let's validate that all of this is set up correctly. Deck layer X, Okay. Oh, the source ID is a little weird here. Okay. So source ID should start as 0. Source ID is 0. And then we have to change it depending on whether we're at the min or the max. So that affects the source ID. Does it also affect the atlas coords? I don't think so. I think it only affects source ID now. Maybe it does. I think I should have flipped this the way the walls are structured, because right now it's like, here's one piece and then something with the left and something with the right. I don't know if I can support single tile boxes right now, which is a problem. So what we're doing, we iterate through each set of coordinates and the bounds. If the coordinates, if x is greater than min and x is less than max. So if we're somewhere in the middle, we just don't care and we just continue. We set the atlas coords to some default value. It should be 0. And then we ask a question here. We ask, are we not at the minimum or the maximum? For y, along y. Okay. Okay. Oh no, this supports single tile block. Because this would say, this would return positive. Alright. We need to reverse this somehow. We need to know whether we are at the back side or the front side. Whether we're in front projecting back or in the back projecting forward. Like a DIGITAL solution. Where we're always on the outside projecting in, essentially. We're either in front and we're drawing the back wall, or we're in back and we're drawing like a front wall. And that's to make sure we don't run into z-indexing issues. It's easier to z-index that way. Or y-sort. It's easier to y-sort that way, is what it is. Alright. So what needs to change is the source ID, not necessarily the atlas coords. We could reverse this. We could say atlas coords equals vector 2i dot right times 3. That's like a stupid way to do it, but would work. Hey, Ryson. Now even Discord is slow to notify you? Sad. That is sad. Well, it's alright. We'll be on for a bit. How's it going? Yeah, I don't know how to get timely notifications of streams, except to like just be literally sitting on Twitch. But if I do that, then the pop-up window usually comes and goes and I don't notice. All right, so what we need to do is we actually need to check the opposite. We need to check to see whether we are... Well, we actually need to check to see if the x is minimum or maximum. So we could do this sequentially here. We could see if it's both, we do that, we could say if coords.x is equal to min.x. Oh wait, which is first and which is second? So here we have the back is first and then the front is second. So we just need to check to see if it's the max. We don't need to check anything else. We can see this is max. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say source ID plus plus. Yeah, exactly. You're not bad. You're 3 days into your second jam. You are just jamming. This one is 13 days long. Theme is balance. That's awesome, though. Is this another team jam, or are you doing this one solo? Which jam is this? Sounds cool. I mean, the theme doesn't sound amazing, but... What am I working on today? We're finishing up some of the stuff we're doing with the editor boxes, like the selection box and stuff. We decided we were going to do it a different way last time, and then I guess we ran out of time before implementing it. Another team? Okay, cool. I need to get more comfortable with the idea of doing a team jam. I just haven't done anything like that in the context of game dev stuff. Like, I haven't done a lot of team-based stuff. Hey, Leandro. How's it going? Redeeming the hydrate. Thank you, Leandro. I do need the water. I got home from my trip, and I like just slept for like 3 hours. Like, took a nap. And I did the same thing the next day. We drank a lot of coffee on this trip. We drank like a pound of coffee a day, and I feel like I'm going through caffeine withdrawal right now. So water should help. You're gonna make a BattleBots game for this jam? You're calling it Broomba Battles? Off-brand Roombas? Okay. That's fun. That sounds fun. All right. How's it going, Leandro? All right, so we're checking to see if we're at max, not min. We want to check max. If we're at max, we increment the source ID. Is this all I need to change? What's this -1? Oh, I maybe need to change this. This is maybe dependent on whether we're at the max or the min. Because we're positioning this before or behind, right? And we're doing it... Okay. You're doing great. Weekend was nice. Awesome. Okay, Ryson, the balance is going to be about picking the components of the bots. Oh, okay. Oh, man, Diginanigans. At Ryson, is the goal of the game to sweep the competition off the arena? That's great. All right, so we need to pick the right coordinate, and the way we're doing this is we're either in front, drawing back, or back, drawing in front. We are offsetting the grid back by 1 so that we aren't ever placing a tile, trying to place a tile in a negative coordinate, which is tough for me to do for some reason, given my conversion stuff. I could probably just use the Godot conversion. Or the Godot packed array. Actually, I don't know if I can use the packed array or the packed byte array decode. Packed byte array decode can handle negative numbers, but the conversion stuff, the conversion utility that I have available to me can't handle it. So we're just going to do an offset. So we're going to shift everything back 1. So that means we need to draw stuff forward by 1. Or by 2 if we're trying to draw forward. So we can say if chords.x is equal to max, we can say source ID, and we can also, so this will be, let's add the curly braces because we're doing more than one thing. We're going to say source ID plus plus. We're going to say can I reassign chords in here? Chords equals chords with we want to do it with x equals chords.x plus 2. Oh, it's immutable. Okay, the for each iteration variable is immutable. Cool. Cool. We can just define the key higher up and then modify it. Oh, not that high up. I went too high up. All right, I see chat moving. What's going on? You're going to have a sumo aspect to the battle? Ooh, that's fun. With the art style straight down, it wasn't going to work out visually for animating falling off the arena. Oh, yeah, if you're top down, that's kind of hard. So we're going to say key equals key with equals key. Okay, this may work. May work. Why am I doing this thing with the Atlas chords? Oh, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do vector 2i dot 0. I think we're okay with that part. So that should handle that. The next section should be basically the same, but with just some stuff flipped around. Alternative tile equals 1. Source set equals 0. So all of this is very similar. Bryson, you could still have the ring boundary of sumo, but without the falling, it wouldn't really hit the same in terms of quote-unquote balance. Yeah. I could see that. All right, we're just going to start with the 3 deck layers, and then we'll add the bulk layers. So this is going to look wrong, but I just want to see if that half of it looks correct. Alternative tile is 1. That's really the only change here, huh? Oh, change this from Y to X, or from X to Y. And then Z, I think Z is already working. This part's wrong. -1, -1. I guess we need the same thing with a key. It's a little different, huh? Oh, hey. Hey, Leandro, coming over to the YouTube side. Yeah, Twitch chat's a little quiet. But I don't blame him. I keep taking a lot of little breaks. I have not been streaming as regularly as I should be. But hopefully we can get a good groove going over the next couple weeks. I do have GodotCon in a few weeks that I'm very excited for. That's probably gonna be the next little break we have is GodotCon Boston in early May. So I'm hoping I can just focus in on some work, get some good progress over the next couple weeks. Try to stream a little more regularly. It is getting to the point where, like, it's like when you've gotten used to, like, going to the gym, or, like, you've made anything a part of your habit, where, like, you don't feel like you want to do it, but you still just do it anyway. You're like, I should go. I should stream. It's getting easier for me to do that. Leandro, you've been playing a lot of FTL recently? Hell yeah. I still want to go and play the big mod. There's, like, a big mod. It's called, like, the Universe mod or something like that. I want to play this big content mod that I saw for it. Leandro, you got your friends to buy the game. You're teaching them how to battle the flagship. They love it so far. That's awesome. Yeah, FTL is so good. Every once in a while, I dive back into it. Ever thought of streaming the con? That would be pretty wild. I'd have to figure out how that would work. But no, I haven't thought about that. Not as cool as, like, me streaming GodotCon is not as cool as, like, Jackie Codes going live from, like, the GDC Expo Godot booth or something like that. Maybe someday. Maybe someday if I've got my own booth at a con. I don't know. The internet at conventions isn't ever usually that good. Maybe I could record some video and, like, release it later as, like, shorts or something. I don't know. I should think more about stuff like that. All right, so for doing the XY or the coordinate offset stuff here, how am I going to do that for the Z parts? Because the Z parts, I guess it's just either or. It's like we do two checks. We say if there isn't a source ID modification though. So yeah, it's a little easier. So we can say key is a new vector. We can just do this in one go. We can say coords dot, or we can say coords dot x is equal to max dot x question mark. So if it is, we say coords dot x plus 2. Otherwise, coords.x. So we can do it this way. We do the same thing, but with y. Can't wait to show them my game when it's done. Yeah, it's only going to be a few more years. I really want to solidify our approach, or I really want to commit to the stuff we've been talking about before about having like an MVP and like have this roadmap that we drew up after GDC. I want to focus more on that, but it does mean being a little more serious in terms of like managing my time better. This should be 2. Okay, I think this part of it will work. Famous last words. Yeah, I need to remember what that mod was called. Okay, so sort of, but not really. Sort of, but not really would be... we can't actually do... Okay, the corners are an issue. For sure. I think we don't have the correct offset set up either. So we can't actually do the corner pieces the way I wanted to here. We actually have to treat these as individual tiles. That should be okay. So I need to break these up into just individual pieces, and we can assemble them together as needed. That'll make the sprite atlas smaller, at least. Actually, it'll make the sprite atlas, like, insanely small, depending on how I decide to do this. Hey, Rhiannon Journey! How's it going? How have you been? All right. Because what we're doing is we're painting from the adjacent tile, right? So if we want to draw this tile, we actually draw from here. Draw from here in. I actually haven't set that up to be the way we do this, huh? Oh, wait, this is back. Yeah, okay, I have set it up to be that way. Back. Okay. The Z is the issue, because the Z wants to just be drawn very simply. But it's actually, the Z needs to be 4 pieces. Okay, okay. I see there. I see what needs to be done here. You're doing pretty good? That is good to hear. So I actually don't need all of these options. What I need... This is actually really simple. And in fact, I could even do this with just 1 piece, but I think I would rather not. Let's just take half of this. So let's just take one of these. Can I get away with just making this a single piece? And then just flip it around for different ones? I could do that. But I also have enough room to just do this normally. Actually, I think I want it to be down here. Maybe like that. I want to make sure they overlap correctly. Okay, we're going to try this. So Z is going to go to be... Z is going to be like this. We'll go into the tile set. Change this. Okay, we're going to get rid of these. This is actually a much simpler way of doing the Z stuff. So instead of having to handle all the permutations, we're just going to do the individual sides. So this is going to be 32. It's going to be 16 by 8. Doesn't seem right. Oh, 8 was the whole thing. So this should be by 6. Are these semi-transparent? No, they're solid. So this should be fine. So they can be 16 by 6. Yeah, like this. Exactly like this. And I know I could have just done this by just taking one of them and flipping it. But this should be a little cleaner. Question is... Oh yeah, we don't need a source ID for each of these. We can just have this be the same. So we need to go into the select. So this is going to be upper left. So I think it's going to be 8. Let's try 8 by 4. That may or may not be correct. This would be -8. All right, let's try this. Let's see if I completely messed this up. So if we're trying to place here, so we place it here. Okay, this needs to be down a little further. And you place this one here. Place this one here. Okay, so let's just place all these down and then just manipulate them until they look correct. I don't know why I wasn't doing that before. So is this, should this actually be, so this is up, so this should be here. Around here somewhere. This is off by a weird amount. Why is this off? Oh no, it's not. This is correct. I think. Yeah, that's how it should look. All right, cool. So now we just need to pick the right one. So the default, which is 0... Oh, Alice Chord's 4/8. Why is this the way you do this? 4/8, 4/9. Oh, I need to do the thing where I create offset. That is so annoying. Can I just define this myself? Can I just call this 0, 0? No. So what I have to do then is in setup, I have to set a margin. Or I just redraw this so that it's, you know, in a better spot. But margin will do for now. So that's 128. Or maybe 64. 64 by 96 maybe? That's too big. It's also, maybe it's 48. I don't love how this works, but I'll survive. There we go. So now this will at least be 0, 0. Then I need to reset these up because they definitely don't remember anything about themselves. So you're 8. You were 2. -8. 2. All right, did I do it? Let's redraw this real quick. See if I did it. Looks like it. All right, okay, cool. So this is definitely simpler. All right, but then here we have to do this, we have to treat this a little differently. So now Z, instead of trying to draw the whole thing. Oh. So now we have the problem. Okay, now we have a different problem. Which now there isn't a one-to-one relationship between the coordinate and the number of faces we're trying to draw. Now we're drawing like 4 different faces for every one. Or we're drawing 4 tiles because we need to surround a single tile. So I probably need to do some checks and add a tile for each one. It's kind of crazy, but I guess that'll work. The other option would be to do like the X and the Y here and like split them. And do more iterations. I don't really want to do more iterations, though. I kind of want to just... Well, we'll try it this way, and we'll see if we like it. All right, so 4. So we need to do this 4 times. We need to check. So that's fine. We want to say if boards.x I want to say if chords.x is equal to, let's start with the min. Say min.x. What we're going to do. You can declare some stuff at the top here. Oh, that's too high up again. Still want this initial check here. So what we need to do, so if we're at the X, so if we're at the minimum of the X, what we want to do is we will say, we set the atlas coords. So we say this. Actually, let's check that. So here, so if we're at the max, we place one of these in front, the max X. Otherwise, if we're at the min X, place one at the back. And the back one is this one. So it would be 1, 1. Okay. This is maybe not how I should have arranged it, but we can rearrange. I can do that later. Let's get it working, and then we can make it more coherent, the layout and everything. All right, so then in this case, atlas coords equals atlas coords. Oh, it doesn't equal. In this case, atlas coords equals vector 2i.1. So the atlas coords equals 1. Then the key. Oh, we don't even need to really define the key then. Actually, we use it, don't we? Let's redefine the key. So let's move this up into here. Well, let's define it initially here. Variable key. Well, let's say vector 4i key equals new vector 4i. We'll say coords, and we'll say 2. I actually see a way that this could be a problem in the future. So if we're doing it this way, if instead of drawing here in the tile, we should really do it that way, huh? I kind of want to go back to doing it the way we had it before for the Z, specifically for the Z layer, because I'm realizing if we try to do this draw from the outside in thing, if we have multiple selection boxes on the same Z layer, they're going to conflict with each other, and we would need to handle that. And that would be pretty complicated, so I kind of don't want to do that. Hey, Bear-like Lion, how's it going? It's going good. How's it Godot'ing? Oh, excuse me. That's incredible. It's Godot'ing okay. We're fiddling around with our tile map layers. We're making like a selection box outline kind of effect that we can just auto tile. All right, so I maybe made a bit of a mistake here doing it this way. I think doing it the other way was better for this particular thing, because at least then it's self-contained and multiple selection boxes that are near each other will play more nicely. If we do it that way, I just need to draw it differently. So we're gonna go back to that. We can keep the same file. We just need to, I don't need to update the file again. I just need to take this out. It's a shame. What we can do here is we can, texture origin for this should be pretty easy. We can actually just double check the other grid, the whole grid. Whole default.tres, outer floor, outer wall, floor, outer floor top. What is your texture origin? Oh, 0, 0. Okay, well, that'll be easy to replace then. Tile maps have been tough for you sometimes, but also not super experienced with them. Yeah, they're pretty annoying. We've kind of worked out our own process that's very much like it's, you know, a custom auto tiler. So like we're having, and that helps a lot, but it's also obviously a lot of work to set up a custom auto tiler. All right, so this is 32 by 8 again, and it's these guys. Save this. So we're going to go back to this setup. And that means what we need to do here is probably undo most of what I just messed around with here. All right, so what we need to not do here. So we're not doing any of this atlas or we're not doing any of this coordinate offset stuff. The only thing we're doing here is we're going to say coords equals. We're going to say coords.x plus 1, coords.y plus 1. I do like tile map layers, though. The new tile map layers are pretty good. All right, we can put this back down here. How are you doing, Bear Like Lion? All right, so the atlas chords thing we were doing was probably a lot of the problem. This should still mostly work. Oh, I gotta check to make sure we don't have that offset happening, do we? So elastic levels, you're 0, 0, you're -8, you're 0, 0. So the editor level is the one that's offset. That seems wrong. Okay. Okay, so the Z level's kind of working again. It's offset, which is weird. I guess it needs to be the same offset. So you should also be -8, maybe? I'm not quite sure why the editor level needs to be offset. Okay, so the Z is working, but it's only working for one layer. I don't understand why that would be the case. It should be defaulting to down here. What if I do this? What if I run it? We go down a couple of layers. Here we go. And then we go up. Okay, so there is some funky stuff happening right now. All right, why is your Z layer stuff not working correctly? We're taking the Z in, so gotta go. You gotta head out. You got a couple things to deal with. No worries. Thanks, DIGITAL. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good rest of your day. All right, let's figure out the X and the Y stuff. Why are you misbehaving? Would be my question. Why aren't these Y sorting between each other? It should be. Is it because of the offset I'm using? That could maybe be the problem. If we just upped this by 1. If their Z index is different, they're not going to Y sort at all. I'll have to figure that out in a minute. I think it's because of this offset we're using to avoid negative coordinates for the tile cell coordinates. I think the fact that I'm using an offset is causing the Y sorting to not totally go how you would expect. Because I think different tile map layers should be able to Y sort against each other on a tile by tile basis. I thought that's how that worked. I think we just need to dial it in here. But there's other problems to fix first. Ah. Well, no. Hold on. This is right. So key. Key with x equals x plus 2. Shouldn't this have to be like this? Shouldn't this be negative? Shouldn't this be further up and behind the regular auto tiling grid? Kind of. Okay, yeah, this is correct from an offset standpoint. What is happening over there, though? Okay, there's some really weird stuff happening over on the side here. Super weird that we're not getting... This layer should move down as the Z index goes down. I don't know why it's not. Let me see about that. All right, we got ads coming for everyone on the Twitch side. But we're just fiddling around. So chords, oh. I guess I didn't complete that thought. So this should at least cause the Z stuff to draw. Yeah, on multiple levels. Oh, yeah, on just, it should be just 2 levels. Well, actually, it should only be on 1 level, huh? So it should only draw on the bottom. So what we should say is if we are less than max, don't do this. Okay, because this is the floor we're trying to draw. Plane for the floor. Yeah, so this should just go down to whatever. Okay, so there's like a weird offset happening here. Why doesn't that change every time? We had this almost working last time. We were just dealing with the an impossible z-index fight. And now we've added additional layers to help deal with that, but we're running into a few other problems. Let me make sure the tile set's correct. That's all good. Kind of weird that we're not really drawing almost anything in terms of the 0 or 1. The 0 or 1 source IDs. Oh, well, that's part of the oh no, there we go. Source ID. Okay, we need to redeclare source ID. Source ID here equals 0. We actually need to declare this every time, huh? Okay, well, that was a problem for sure. Okay, so the corners are getting there. Getting there. We just need to line them up. There also needs to be an offset here. I don't know how much of an offset I need, but I need something. Is this it? Yeah, that was it. Okay, the z-indexing is starting to work. It's not perfect. The edges here are misbehaving a little bit. +2 is working. Seems to be, at least. Oh, close the whole engine. Rip. So what if these were on the same layer? What would that do? Or not same layer. What if they were at the same y coordinate? And you still have that weird little issue on the side there. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I did 8. It's supposed to be -8. Hey, Matthew Sparks. How's it going? How are you doing? All right, so why is there a disconnect between our edge pieces here for the y and the x? So if y is not equal to min, we add 1 to the x coords. If y is not equal to max, we add 2 to the x coords. Ooh, excuse me. I have this in the right order, right? Do I need to just flip this around? Should it be 2-1 and not 1-2? It would explain what's happening. Matthew, random question. Do I have a CS degree? Since you work for a university, you have the option for free courses. You've thought about knocking out some CS courses since they're paid for. Your actual degree is in behavioral neuroscience, so not much crossover there. Oh, that's really cool. No, I don't have a CS degree. I have no college degrees. Is the short version of that. Okay, we got closer on one side and farther on the other side. I want to fix this little Z indexing thing around the edge here. But I think that would be cool. So why does this go halfway like every time? What's happening? So 1, should be drawing more than that. What is going on would be my question. Something very weird going on the further down I go. You've thought about trying to combine like AI with like or CS with like behavioral neuroscience, attempting to head to grad school for computational neuroscience. That'd be super cool. Neural networks, AI, and all that jazz. Definitely something you considered. That would, I mean, I'm just saying the current meta, that's pretty good to do. That would be pretty lucrative in the current career meta that we exist in. All right, so if we're on the, so if we are at the max X, we should be using this, so we should be doing +1. If we are at the min X, we should be doing this one, which is +2. Okay, so that was correct, the numbers here. The +1 for the... Oh, hold on. So for X, yeah, it should be that. Oh, maybe it's flipped. Maybe this is correct. No. It's very strange what's happening here. So we're at this tile. And if we're at the front, we should be rendering this one. Am I getting my X and my Y backwards or something? I take like 1 week off and I forget how almost all of this works. The +2 is maybe causing a problem here, but it should be what we need to do here. So if the Y is at max, your current job in the IT department at the university is definitely much less exciting and not something you want to do much longer if you don't have to. I feel that. Yeah, there's always a pretty key distinction between like a job and a career. And like, I like my job right now. I don't know if I would consider it a career, you know what I mean? Like, I think I would have a harder time imagining that as the thing I would do for, you know, my professional lifetime. I would rather make games. Excuse me. Well, you know, that gets harder and harder every year, so we'll see. See if that happens. We're gonna keep trying. So weird where these are rendering to. They're the little vertical lines are rendering. They should be rendering up and down in the middle or over here on the right. And they don't. They just render exactly the same spot. This one, the one in the corner over here is a really interesting case. That should be down over here. Oh, maybe I'm like literally positioning these too far. Maybe instead of being here, this is being positioned here. Oh, maybe that's what's happening. Okay, I think I have an idea of what's going on. Let's just not change the key for a second and see what happens. It does not seem to have helped very much. I just want to line these up. I'm having a hard time visualizing why that's not occurring. That's okay. I feel like I could easily have taken another 3-hour nap today. I've done it the last couple of days. So my brain might not be like at 100% here. All right, let's go through this piece by piece and like challenge some of our assumptions. So if we're working through this first layer, which is the X layer for the deck, for the lower part, the floor part, this is fine. We continue if we're not along any edge. If we're not along any edge, we just continue. Otherwise, we set the key to just be this, just be the coordinates with the correct layer data, which is 0. We're at layer 0 if we're here for deck layer X. If our X coordinate is the same as the bound's maximum X coordinate, then we want to add 2 to the X coordinate, which is the tile that we're placing this piece on. And that's to get it in front of, because we're offsetting the selection box tile map by 1, we're offsetting it backwards by 1 so that it by default renders from behind. We need to add 2 to get it back in front. Hey, Gustavo. Those CS UID files are the new Godot feature to stop using node paths. Yeah, they're an alternative to node paths. So instead, I could just refer to it by this unique identifier. Pretty cool. Pretty cool if you're doing a lot of, you know, file path manipulation stuff. Haven't used it much yet. Because I don't totally understand the utility. Like, I understand the utility of it in that instead of referring to a file path, you can use the UID. But if you're talking about, like, a scene, if you want to refer to a component in a scene, like grid level 2 here doesn't have a UID. It's an instance of a resource, sure. But if I want to talk about this specific, like grid level 5 or whatever, like I can't use a UID for this. So you still need node paths if you're talking about like nodes within a scene, is my understanding. But if you're talking about resources, like things in the file system, you can just use the UID instead, which I think is pretty cool. It seems to be hiding them in this file system view, which I kind of like. I haven't figured out how to hide it in Writer yet. I would like to hide these, but I haven't put much effort into it. All right, Leandro is agreeing with me, so I must be speaking truth. Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to hide them on Writer. I just haven't been bothered to look for it yet. Gustavo, when you read about it, you thought they would create a hidden folder or something for it. This way it gets kind of messy with this bunch of files. Yeah, so Godot hides it by default, but yeah, it's definitely not putting them in a folder. And you want them in your source control, so you don't want to disable them. You don't want to put them in your git ignore. You want to keep them, so I know it's a lot of stuff to just add, but at least you don't have to look at it most of the time. I don't really need any of this open anyway. I could just hide all of this. What do I need? Can I get rid of all these CS Project old files? They just keep accumulating, and I feel like I don't want them. I'm a little afraid. I mean, I've got my main CS Project file. A little afraid to get rid of some of these. I definitely can get rid of these temp files. I hate how they just accumulate. Yeah, these are just old versions. As I updated the Godot version, I just kept getting old project files. I can probably just delete them. I should probably add them to the git ignore too. I think they're being stored. There's just a bunch of stuff in here that I just feel like not bothering with sometimes. But it's clutter. It is clutter, and there's that certain point where I'll probably feel like dealing with the clutter. Usually is an excuse to not do real work. All right, but right now we're trying to figure out why we're not getting a simple box shape like we expect to be. Because what I'm expecting is this. Let's draw this by hand and see if we get the shape we expect. That seems like an easy way to tell if this is working or not. So what I would expect, if we're drawing onto this tile, I would expect to be able to do this. So I would draw, so this is the back, so I would draw here. And then I would draw here. Is this front or back still? Oh, this is front. And I would draw here. Here. And here. So I'm drawing on the outside. I'm like drawing in front of and behind this tile. Same thing with this. I should be able to just do that. And we should get this shape. So if I play and I just stick to one tile, is that what I get? No, see, I get this other thing. So we're not drawing where I expect us to draw from. We're actually drawing over by one. We're drawing one lower than I'm expecting. There should be ones being drawn in the back too. I'm gonna raise the z-index here so that we can see where it is. I'm gonna raise that just so it draws in front, and we'll do that again. But how are you doing, Gustavo? Interesting. It's actually, we're not actually seeing the stuff being drawn behind. Just curious. Well, let's start by getting the single box case to work, and then if we can get the single box case to work, that should help. So this should all be shifted up one. Let's see about that. So that's super weird because we should be hitting this key with x equals key.x plus 2. We should be moving them up forward by 2. Let's change this to be like even more. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't need to be more, but let's see. Let's see if that does anything. Oh, it's going the wrong way now. It's actually too far. Okay, so let's go back then. Maybe I don't understand how this works. I mean, that's definitely the case, or I would have solved this. Okay, that's kind of right. It's close to being right. Closer. Oh. I think I see what happens. What if I say x equals key.x plus 2 and y equals key.y plus 1? Maybe we're getting desynced here. Oh, well, that's weird. I got one of them. The other one I butchered beyond belief somehow. Oh, I see what I did. All right, maybe this is right. Maybe I just was not modifying both coordinates. Yeah, okay, we got it now. Well, we have one case of it correctly. We're handling one case. It's still progress. It's following the front of the tile correctly. The sides and the back are still a little wrong. But that should be doable. I'm still a little suspicious of what's happening here. Oh, I understand. I understand what's happening. Okay, and then so if you're in the back...
That's absolutely captivating.
Alright. I don't know what song this is.
Those candles feel...
I feel like changing again. All right. It's because we're shifting everything back one along the rendering y-axis. So like up, down, left, right. So we're moving the node back by one tile's worth, which means if we are trying to sync it back up with the other one, we need to go plus, we need to go plus x plus y, and then again, either plus x or plus y, depending on which side it is. Because we're rendering the back face of a tile, not the back face, we're projecting backwards from a tile ahead of the tile we're actually trying to project onto. So that makes sense. We essentially need to do a knight's move. We need to go over 1 and then over again 2 in the other axis. Okay, so that makes sense why that is working. But that's only for foreground stuff. So if we are trying to render... So why does that not work in every case? It's because if we are rendering the back faces, we need to do a slightly different thing. And does that line up with my experience here? Yes. Okay, okay, we're getting close. So if you're on the back face, you still need to... Not sure about that, actually. I see different things happening. What's happening at the very back is different than what's happening on the side. Alright, so... if chords.x is equal to max.x, we do this. We can say else. What we actually need to do is something here. Maybe it's this? This doesn't totally make sense. Okay, I think I'm figuring it out. I think we're dialing it in here. Okay, I think I figured it out. All right, so here it's going to be chords.x plus 1 Coords dot y, coords dot z, and then yep, okay. All right, we got it. Let me turn the correct Z indexing stuff back on, see if that's mostly working now. No, we just need to make the bulk layers. All right, now we need to what? Do nothing? Will this just all work? Let's see. Here's hoping. Okay, so now you're only doing this layer. Oh, I understand why that's happening. I'm not specifying. I need to specify the layers here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's almost there. For some reason, the XY surfaces aren't drawing correctly for the bulks. Why is that behaving so weirdly when I start to do z-index stuff with it? That's gonna be our next thing to figure out. The source ID is written correctly? Three, 4, 5, yep. Okay, there doesn't seem to be any wrong with that per se. I don't see why this wouldn't draw. There's got to be something obvious. Maybe I don't have... Oh, grid layers are set to be the wrong number. Unfortunate. Grid layers is now 6. Not 4. That would explain a little bit why it's not rendering. Same problem. I'll try drawing it out real quick. Make sure it's not the problem there. So this would look like this. So if we were to do this, it'd be like... Oops. Give me the tile map. So we could draw around a tile like this. Okay, so that's the bottom layers. Oops. Put that on the... That would go here. Then here we should be able to draw these. Well, that's... For one thing, it's off, but that's beside the point, I guess. But it is off by 1, which is unfortunate. But that doesn't explain why it's not drawing at all. Okay, so this one's in sync. The other one's out of sync. Why is that? So you're 810. But you are negative 810. What? Oh, should you not be 10? Oh. Oh, I drew this wrong, huh? It's unfortunate. Oh yeah, you can see. Here the overlap is even, here the overlap is odd. That's easy, easy fix. That's not the core problem, but it's an easy fix. Something that happens to be incidentally wrong. There we go. Okay, so that's in sync now, which is an improvement. All right, so this is what it should look like. And it doesn't. It's these two layers keep getting cut off. And it looks like this. So for some reason, these layers, I can't see them. Why would that be? Grid layer, well, for one thing... Oh, no. Grid level is correct. Grid layer. Is there something wrong with y'all? You have your Z index of 2, which is good. You're not set to be invisible or anything weird. Okay, so the tile set is correct, so that's good. No, the problem's not there. All right. Whole levels. Oh no, that's right. We're on the wrong area. Down here. Grid layers, grid levels, grid layers. Is there a chance that this is hard-coded with anything? Doesn't look like it. I don't see why these particular layer 4 and layer 3 would not draw when all the other layers do. But I almost certainly just set something up incorrectly. I just don't know what it was. Tile map packing shouldn't matter. I'm not keeping any constant variables that might affect this, I don't think. I don't think there's a problem with our pack tile map data function. It's the same function we use anytime we want to auto tile something. So shouldn't be that. We're sending levels, then layers. As long as we're doing it in that order, it shouldn't matter. Levels, then layers. Okay. Counts key.z. So that's times layers plus key.w. Yeah, that's how we get the count. Key.w I'm setting here manually, and I'm just iterating it. What's weird is if none of these, if the last 3 just didn't render, that'd be one thing. But the thing is, layer 5 renders, but layers 4 and 3 don't. That's perplexing. Let's look at some weird stuff here. Z layers are behaving weirdly. I would like to get to that, but I need to fix this other thing first. Oh, well, here's one thing that's wrong. Greater than. Coordinate Z is greater than min. Okay, well, there's part of the Z problem. So now we're, in theory, only going to render one box that encompasses the whole area. It seems to have fixed a lot of that. Now, the only real problem is closing up the vertical lines that the bulk wall layer versions. And I just don't know why they're not here. I guess I could set the correct Z level, the Z index here. See what that looks like. Okay, so it almost looks correct. There's just some weird stuff happening at the corners here that I need to understand. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Atlas chords 0, 1, 1, 1. Oh, wait. How is this? Oh. I see. I see what's occurred here. We're trying to write to an Atlas chord that doesn't exist. I forgot to do the offset thing. The margins. I hate that. So I'm going to have to set these back up again, because I'm going to lose all of the information I have about them. So let's at least try to remember. -8, 10. 8, 10. All right, fixing the tiles. That explains the problem. We were just rendering blank tiles. Hey, Practical, how's it going? Only a few weeks till Godot Con. Okay, now what are these? 810 again? That doesn't sound right. These are the foreground ones. Why are they 810? Does that mean these are supposed to be negative 810? Oh yeah, they are. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you still haven't figured out where you're staying? Oh. Hey, Jacob Dev. How are you doing? Kind of having a quiet day here, getting back into the groove. I just got back from a little vacation. Where I just dumped everything out of my brain here. You got a couple of friends over in that area too. Maybe you can snatch a couch. Yeah, if me and some people from a local Godot group, we set up our Airbnb like months ago, and Bad Cop already claimed the couch. So otherwise, I would offer it to you. All right, let's shift this down so it's actually the correct spot again. So margins, make this 34. Get rid of these, reset up these alt tiles here. All right, get rid of these. Oh yeah, that's fair. You yeah, otherwise you would have to fight for it. Yeah, I definitely got slaughtered doing GDC and then trying to do Ludum Dare, which I crashed out of. Just ran out of time. Really glad I got a weekend off to just dump everything. I was just like, can I really do all of this and then go straight into GodotCon? And I think the answer was no. Ryson, is there a way to mark an input as handled so the input singleton won't handle the same click event in process that your input already took care of? I think you might be mixing different like input. I don't think you can handle it in such a way that you can't get it by calling the input singleton. But I think there's that other workflow that you can use with event, like unhandled event. Like there's a couple different event workflows for Godot, right? And there's one where like the UI can consume the event and... All right, we're running an ad. I just hit pre-rolls. Like, if we look at the Godot input workflow here. So this is the singleton. Yeah, see, inputs methods reflect the global input state and are not affected by control except event or viewport set input is handled. As those methods only deal with the way input is propagated in the scene tree. So it seems like no, but just if you're trying to handle input through the input singleton. I think you can obviously use the other two methods to control the flow of input. Unless there's a separate way to do that here. Maybe you can flush the events? No. I don't know. That's a good question. I've been trying to get more into using the scene tree input flow for this reason, for this amongst other reasons. All right, I don't know if I set this up correctly. We're gonna find out. All right, let's try to build it by hand real quick just to see if we built this back up correctly. So this is background. So background, put this here. Foreground, put this here. It looks like I did it. It looks like I did it okay. Background, this, foreground. Okay. Okay, I think we fixed it. All right, this should work now. Yep, there we go. All right. Okay, it's a little weird. The spacing's a little wrong on the front. The sides look good. The back looks good. Why is the spacing wrong only in the front? What is up with that? Jacob Dev, it sounds like you're doing a lot of content development. And altering your player control a little bit. I don't know if I'm that familiar with what you're working on, Jacob Dev. Hit you with that follow. So I can check out what you're working on. Hey, Cubus, how's it going? How's it going, Cubus? All right, so why is this wrong, but only along one viewpoint? You here for the mandatory torture? You know, we're finishing up our little editor grid. It's very weird that it looks wrong, but only in the front. So like the back here looks fine. But for some reason there's a janky offset in the front. Not quite sure what would cause that. Very weird. Kind of used our auto tiler to make a little selection box kind of thing, or some kind of little bounding box rendering thing. And it's mostly working. I'm doing some co-working. Going well those. Oh, Fusionist! Oh man, everyone's popping in. I was almost ready to wrap up the stream, but now everyone's here. We'll go a little longer. I want to figure out what this last little problem is. You allowing infinite size ships now? No. There's an arbitrary limit at the moment of 64 by 64 by 8. It's arbitrary, but what I really want to do is I want to have a resizable capacity, because right now it's just hard-coded that there's a limit here or here. I need to set it up so that it's using this. So like this is a visualization of the current area being used. And I need to like rebase the thing around that bounds instead of this arbitrary maximum bounds thing. I have some stuff in mind, but yeah, it's not infinite. That'd be wild to have a ship so big that you're like chunk loading it. Like, the ship is so big we can't load all of it at once. That'd be cool. There would be I feel like a Space Hulk game would be really cool like that. But then you'd be like, it would all be about exploring the ship, and you'd just be playing Space Hulk, but still. I think that'd be cool. Space Station time? Don't tempt me. I am tempted to do like a Deep Space Nine, Babylon 5 like version of the game. Maybe that'll be an expansion. There'll be like an expansion campaign option where you're like, instead of a ship, you're like a space station, and like all the action comes to you instead of you going and finding it. It could be cool. It'd be a very different game. Fusionist, fast forward 5 years, and you want to chunk load ships? Yeah. Connor McChicken Jr., hello. Hello to you as well. How are you doing? All right, so let's think about this. What could cause a problem, but only... Oh, well... There's like I think there's like a tile missing from here then, is probably what it is. There's something messed up here. Let's go back and draw that by hand again. So Y... Doing very well. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm good, Connor. I got back, I took a little vacation over the weekend, and I'm back, and I don't remember how any of this works or how to do any of it. And so we're just kind of chilling. We're just kind of getting back into things. All right, so if I were to place this here, and then place a floor piece below it, below it. Oh, wrong layer. So the back is right. The back is spaced correctly. Jacob, you're thinking of stuff like support classes, boost your team less linearly, ways to increase your odds, more player choices, builds for units, more meaningful paths when traversing. Done a ton of stuff over the last 2 months. This sounds like a cool game, Jacob. Support classes. Is this multiplayer or single player? I haven't heard anything about this. All right, so why isn't this correct here? Oh, do I need to be... Nope, here. This one. This. There we go. Okay, so this looks good from the back. Why does the front look wrong? Where's the front incorrect here? Okay, the deck part is looking good. Let's just erase the backplane stuff, because I think that's going to confuse me. Hey, bad cop, game done yet? Yeah, you just missed it. We just finished it. You missed it by like a minute. Game is done. It's out. We've already moved on to the next project. Jacob, you're working on a fantasy tactics soccer roguelike single player currently. Oh, okay, cool. Fantasy tactics soccer roguelike. That sounds awesome. That's a lot of... It's a lot of taglines, or what's the right word? Genre tags in a row. That sounds cool, though. Bad cop, you said game, not level editor. Oh, that cut deep. That cut very deep. I think you might have punctured a lung. All right, so what we're trying to figure out now is why there's a gap in the front. Oh, this is too low. This one is too low. This one is just right, but this one is too low. So this should be, actually... Which way should it go? Which one even is it? Why isn't that doing anything? There we go. Okay, so that should be 814, not 810. Fusionist, you're officially a Steamworks partner now? You're working on your games page slowly? That's awesome. Have I considered just using a voxel engine to make this game? Yeah. The last version of this game was a voxel game when I was making it in Unity. It definitely was a voxel game. I thought this would have been easier, you know? And it will be easier, you know, once I finish all my tools. So we gotta build the tools. Alright, did I fix the thing? I hope I did. Should just have a nice clean outline. Yeah, then I saw Zach suffering and pivoted, kind of. Well, honestly, what happened was Cosmeteer came out, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. But yeah, Zach's suffering is not forgotten. Okay, cool. So our little outline box thing is working. We're using the auto tiler to just render a box. It's wildly overkill, But it works. So, all right. And this is the version that just captures like what the used area is or used volume. So this one just keeps expanding to show how much of the volume we're actually using in the construction. So you could draw here and then, well, we ran out of space that way. Draw here, draw stuff down here, whatever. Okay. The Z indexing is a little wonky. Is maybe the problem, or like the Y sorting. There's some Y sorting that feels like a little bizarro, but like why is this like this? That doesn't make a lot of sense. What's going on down here? Oh. That's weird. I kind of understand why this is happening, and I think I see a way to fix it. Wildly overkill is wildly underrated. Oh, Ryson, did I roll my own voxel engine with that Unity project? Kind of. I kind of cheated. Like, imagine my whole I'm faking 3D with tile map layer stuff. I was similarly like faking this whole voxel world with like shaders and stuff. It was really rough. Zach is part of a local Godot meetup that I'm a member of. Yeah, Jacob, your game sounds awesome. RPG party taking on orc, goblins, slimes, etc. in a mostly ruleless soccer match. Looks so slick every time you see it. Thank you. The smoothness of the animation is like of the auto tiling is very satisfying. Yeah, Jacob, I'm picturing somewhere between like Blood Bowl and like Shaolin Soccer. Like Blood Bowl sounds like a pretty similar analog to what you're describing, honestly, because Blood Bowl is the American football version of like fantasy ruleless soccer RPG. Was that an influence at all? Yeah, bad cop. I told Practical that the couch was already promised to you. But I told him he could fight you for it. But you have the high ground. You were wondering if I'd written my own cube marching, dual contouring, and greedy remesher. No, I skipped the meshing thing. I was just gonna... I was still using a forced perspective. I was using isometric. So I was using that to basically cheat, and I kind of ended up just doing like line drawing stuff for the outline. It was very janky. There's a reason why I'm not working on it anymore. Unity was also not pleased with the stuff I was trying to do. What, Zach never sent you details, bad cop? No, we should. It's probably the point where we should probably check up on that. But it's all good. We got the room booked already. I'll double check with Sean, but I'm pretty sure we're good. I'll get some details. But yeah, you got it. Yeah, we're talking about Blood Bowl Rhiannon Journey. And Blood Bowl inspired with abilities, faster game loop, and yeah, some roguelike elements. That sounds cool. That sounds pretty cool. All right. I guess the only thing for me to figure out would be some of the Y sorting stuff, but I think to do that, I need to play around with offsetting things even more. like playing with the relationship between the different tile map layers positionally. And I don't know if I want to do that right now. So no chance of showing off on stream. No, that project is dead and gone. I don't even know what version of Unity it was on, but it was at least 2 years ago. It was cool. I was using their ECS dot stuff for everything. It was pretty slick in terms of like how much you could do. It would have been cool, but I didn't think I could do anything to the scale of like Cosmeteer, and that just like demotivated me. I basically went from that original idea was like it was all about the outside of the ship, you know, the construction of the ship and how you laid it out and all, basically everything that Cosmeteer is about, or Captain Forever or Captain Jameson, which were like the original inspirations for it. And then I realized the more cool thing that I could do at a smaller scope was to focus on the inside of the ship. What's going on the inside of the ship? And so I kind of, and that's why we're doing this isometric pixel art version. Because I wanted to refocus on that rather than it being about the construction of the ship and like putting pieces together, and like I wanted it to be more about what's going on the inside. I mean, it seems like we're ending up just making a ship editor anyway, but yeah, that's awesome, Jacob. There's a Discord. If you ever want to share some work there, just for this community, but if you share it in the solo dev or Discord too, that'd be cool. I lurk in there a bit. All right, well, I don't know what else to do today. I kind of did the thing I wanted to do. We have like a working outline box thing. And yeah, I actually need to think about how we're going to deal with the weird Y sorting thing that's happening here. I see why it's happening. I just need to decide how I want to deal with it. We could do some messed up stuff, but to fix this, but I would like to fix it properly. I'd like to avoid doing like per cell stuff. We'll see if we can fix it just with positional. Looking sharp. Yeah, we got a box. Now we need to apply it to like different situations. We need to be able to like use the hover, the like box hover for like building stuff. We need to do the selection so that when you like select across the area, it does that. Like you get a selection box. We need to apply some usages of it, but at least it works now. Awesome. All right. I think we're gonna raid out, even though everyone's here, which is so sweet. But I need to go do some laundry. I brought a lot of stuff from the beach back with me. I think we're gonna go out to Trevron. He's working on some music. All right. It's good seeing everyone. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow on Friday, for sure. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.